Welcome to the Embodied Empath Podcast, the space where sensitive, intuitive women learn to regulate their nervous system, heal anxiety, and live with grounded confidence. I'm your host, Valerie Lundgren. Let's begin. I want to ask you something today. When was the last time you truly felt yourself? Not the version of you that's holding everything together, and not the version of you that everyone depends on. Not the version that's checking off the to-do list, doing everything else, answering the texts, taking care of the family, and keeping the peace, but the person you, like truly you, the woman underneath all of it. Because I think so many women wake up one day, usually somewhere in their 40s or 50s, and realize, I don't know who I am anymore. And it's not because they're broken. It's because somewhere along the way, they became who they needed to be instead of who they truly were. And if that's where you find yourself today, I want you to know something. You don't need to become someone new. You simply need to come back home to yourself. Welcome back to the Embodied Empath Podcast. I'm Valerie, and today we're talking about what it really means to come home to yourself and why nervous system healing is so much more than reducing anxiety. It's about remembering who you were before survival convinced you to forget. So what does coming home really mean? And when I say come back home to yourself, I'm not talking about a destination. I'm talking about a feeling. Home is where you feel safe enough to exhale. Home is where you don't have to perform. Home is where your nervous system isn't constantly scanning for danger. Home is where you don't have to earn your worth. And for many women, that place has never existed inside of them. But because their nervous system has spent decades trying to survive instead of simply live. So here's the thing. Something we don't think often about is that no child is born believing she's too much. No little girl is born believing that she has to earn love. She's curious, she's creative, she's playful. She laughs loudly and she cries openly. She asks for what she needs and she trusts her body. She trusts herself. Then life happens. Maybe she learns that being emotional makes other people uncomfortable. Maybe she learns that being good gets her approval. Maybe she has to become the peacekeeper or the achiever or the helper, the invisible one. And little by little, she doesn't lose herself. She just adapts. And those adaptations become identity. This is something I think is really important. Your nervous system isn't asking, am I living my purpose? It's asking, am I safe? So if pretending keeps you connected, you'll pretend. And if overgiving keeps the peace, you're going to overgive. If you stay quiet, if staying quiet prevents the conflict, you're going to stay quiet. Your nervous system isn't choosing authenticity. It's choosing survival. And here's the thing. It was supposed to. This isn't failure. This is biology. So one of the most beautiful moments I witness with my clients is when they say, I don't think I actually like doing that. Or I've always thought I had to be the strong one. Sometimes they say, I don't even know what I enjoy anymore. And that's not an identity crisis. That's just awareness. Because for years, your personality may have been built around protection. You became who your nervous system needed you to be, and not necessarily who your soul longed to become. So why is this so important? This is why so many women experience this awakening during perimenopause. The hormones change, the veil kind of drops with those hormones that are basically there to tolerate the BS, and our capacity just changes. Your body begins saying, I can't keep overriding myself anymore. And the things that you tolerated for decades suddenly become unbearable. The constant giving, the emotional labor, the pretending, the rushing, the pressure. Women often tell me, I have no patience anymore. I don't always think it's a lack of patience. I think it's just a nervous system that's finally telling the truth. And one of my favorite things about nervous system healing is this. Even when your mind forgets who you are, your body remembers. Have you ever noticed how alive you feel when you're walking in nature, maybe dancing or creating? Maybe you're laughing with someone you trust, just holding your dog or listening to music or watching the sunset. That's not random. Those are moments where your nervous system softens enough for your authentic self to peek through. The goal isn't to create a new you. The goal is to create more of those moments. All right, so let's talk about what's happening in the brain. When your nervous system perceives safety, several things begin to change. Your breathing naturally slows, your muscles soften, your heart rate becomes more regulated, and stress hormones begin to settle. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for perspective, creativity, decision-making, and connection, functions more effectively. You're no longer reacting from survival. You're responding from presence. This is one reason healing can feel like becoming more yourself. When your brain and body aren't consumed with protection, they have more capacity for curiosity, joy, creativity, and connection. These aren't personality changes. They're just signs that your nervous system has more room to express who you are. So coming home to yourself isn't dramatic. It's pretty quiet. It looks like ordering what you actually want instead of what everyone else wants. Saying no without explaining yourself for 20 minutes. Maybe taking a nap because your body asked for it. Laughing without wondering who's watching. Buying yourself the flowers. Listening to the music in the car. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting or wearing the clothes that make you feel like you. Maybe it's changing your mind. Crying without apologizing. Resting without having to earn it. And trusting your own timing. These tiny moments are how we come home. Not all at once. One choice at a time. So the hardest part of coming home. Here's the truth. Sometimes the people around you won't recognize this version of you because they've only known the version that overfunctioned, the version that said yes, the version that carried everyone, the version that abandoned herself. Healing changes relationships, not because you're becoming selfish, because you're becoming honest. And honesty can feel unfamiliar to people who benefited from your self-sacrifice. So that doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means that you're finally living in alignment. So now we're going to do our somatic practice. And remember, we're going to do these somatic practices in a comfortable space. Please do not do these while driving, and make sure that you can do it while you're just relaxed somewhere. So go ahead and take a breath. Sit comfortably. Placing one hand over your heart and the other over your lower belly, and close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Otherwise, just have a soft gaze at something in front of you. Taking a slow breath in, and then an even slower breath out. Now imagine you're walking toward a beautiful little cottage. This cottage represents you. Not who you've been or who you've had to be, but who you truly are. Walk toward the front door and notice the details, the colors, the warmth. Now gently open the door. And as you step inside, notice how your body feels. This is your safe place. This is where you don't have to perform. You don't have to fix anyone. You don't have to earn any love. You don't have to prove your worth. Just take a slow breath here. And silently repeat to yourself, I release who I had to become. Take another breath in. I welcome who I truly am. And another breath. My body is my home. My heart is my home. I am coming home to myself. And then just stay here for a moment, noticing this feeling. Because this is what we're practicing, not perfection, just returning. Beautiful. Take a breath in, and then just open your eyes whenever you're ready as you come back into the room. And as we're moving through the month of August, I want to invite you to make this your intention. Not to become someone different, not to fix yourself. We're not going to hustle your way into healing. I just want you to simply ask yourself every day, what would coming home to myself look like today? Maybe it's just 5 minutes of quiet. Maybe it's saying no to something or asking for help. Maybe it's just going for a walk or laughing or crying. Maybe it's just finally listening to your body. Every small choice is another step home. So if this episode resonated with you, I have something special I'd like to invite you to. This month, I'm offering a free community healing experience centered around this exact theme, coming back home to yourself. Together, we'll gently calm the nervous system, reconnect with parts of you that have been buried beneath survival, and create space for you to feel safe in your own body again. If your heart has been whispering, I want to feel like myself again, this healing is for you. You can learn more and reserve your spot by visiting my website, valerielundgren.co. And if today's episode spoke to you, would you do me a favor? Go ahead and share it with another woman who has spent so much of her life taking care of everyone else that she's forgotten what it feels like to take care of herself. Because here's what I want you to remember. You were never broken, you were never too much, and you were never lost. You simply wandered away from yourself while trying to survive. And the beautiful thing about home is that it's always there waiting for you. Until next time, take a deep breath, place your hand on your heart, and remind yourself you don't need to become someone new. You just need to come home to yourself. I'll see you next week. This episode supported you. Share it with another empath who needs it. And if you're ready for deeper work, somatic coaching, nervous system healing, or my Embodied Reset program, just visit mindfulwellness.me. Your healing is not a solo journey. See you next week.